let's move on to where we stopped yesterday. So, yesterday was all about understanding the difference between narrative and descriptive writing, understanding what exactly makes a narrative, what makes a descriptive. But more than that, it was also about understanding the rubrics of writing when it comes to O levels or IGCSE English language. We need to understand that when we are writing, उसमें सिर्फ हमारा कंटेंट मैटर नहीं करता, एट द सेम टाइम आर लैंग्वेज मैटर्स एज वेल, इफ नॉट मोर देन कंटेंट एक्चुअली, क्योंकि ये राइटिंग का पेपर है. राइटिंग का पेपर लिटरली टेल्स अस कि वी विल बी जज्ड ऑन आवर राइटिंग स्किल्स. आई थिंक इतनी सारी क्लासेस के बाद वी हैव एस्टैब्लिश्ड द फैक्ट कि राइटिंग मीन्स व्हाट. Writing simply means when we tackle language properly, right? When we understand language properly, grammar properly, spellings properly, punctuation properly, tenses properly. ऐसा ही है. Have we understood this at least? Yes? For the convenience of all of you, reminding you guys once again, I will be uploading this particular document on the Google Classroom as well. And what you will do then is one by one, you will start working on the activities. All right? This entire document is going to be your homework for the weekend. By the way, bachcho, particularly because the ones who will be giving the exam in October, November, I will be doubling your homework from now on. Do we understand? Guys, do we follow? Okay. So please try to understand that when it comes to English, it cannot take the back seat at this point now, okay? We have to understand things, we have to focus on things, and let me tell you guys this then कि even distinction भी impossible नहीं है बच्चों. हमारी distinction भी आ सकती है अगर हम सही से पढ़ लें, तो सही से practice कर लें, consistent हो जाए. All right? So anywho, moving on. This all was done yesterday. Now we came across this particular activity where we had to decode a prompt. Again, अब हम prompt को भी decode नहीं कर रहे. That's an activity that you guys will focus on and complete as homework. All in all, we understood the difference between descriptive and narrative writing. We understood how to write a descriptive initially. How exactly does the prompt or the topic matters? What does it tell us? How can we exactly tackle it? And what kind of help does it provide us when writing a descriptive? Do we understand that so far? अच्छा, अब कुछ बच्चे सोच रहे होंगे कि हमने तो narrative लिखना है, descriptive नहीं लिखना, तो why should we take this class? You never know whether you are a good descriptive writer or a narrative writer. I want you all to have the choice at the end of the day that you know descriptive writing as well and narrative writing as well. So then you do your own thing. All right? Okay, moving on. Now we have observation before vocabulary. I think this is something which is very important. I'll tell you how. When I was your age and about to sit my O-levels exams, I remember that whenever I used to go out with my family or I would be out with friends or in any capacity, I would try to observe the surroundings first, right? And that was not limited to my surroundings only. If I was watching a movie, I think more than understanding and observing the main characters, my eyes would be fixated on the characters behind. The people who were literally, in the background. You know what I'm saying, guys? I would be more interested in them, what they were doing, whether they were in character or not. And if they were in character, how were they in character? What did they look like? How were they presenting themselves? So good observation skills is what makes a good descriptive essay. Does that make sense? Do we understand that? By the way, like I told you guys yesterday as well, कि narrative में ना descriptive elements आते हैं. Description में उस हिसाब से narrative writing के elements नहीं होते, but narrative में होते हैं. So how is that the case? We'll see this inshallah in the next week. Once we will close this and we'll just start practicing back to back. Anyway, Cambridge calls this close observation. It means noticing the small, specific, true details that most people would walk past. Study the illustration below before you write anything and let your eye move slowly around it. Now, this is not a very solid illustration as such, but this simply tells us that yes, this is basically a room. There's a few furniture pieces lying around, maybe a photo frame lying in the corner. There's a window, right? There's perhaps a few curtains and stuff. But One thing goes without saying in this case, that in Cambridge you will simply get a prompt to write on, which is going to be like a written topic. In your case, when it comes to O levels or IGCSE, you do not get picture descriptions. Why do I say that? Because there are certain other boards, for example, the AQA board, the GCSE board, that does actually give students illustrations as well to work on. Do we understand so far? Are we good to go? Let's take a look at the observation grid. Now, basically, understand and imagine an abandoned room. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the actual picture of an abandoned room on WhatsApp. All right, for the convenience of everyone. And then you guys are going to fill in this table. Do you guys see this? You will talk about 5 ordinary details that you notice, then 3 unusual details because it's an abandoned room. So obviously there's going to be some unusual details that your eye will be able to catch on to. One detail that suggests atmosphere, one detail which is worth a close-up. So you talk about it. You think it's important. And one detail that could return as a recurring image, that this is something that is important in some way, or probably this will stay in this particular room. I want you guys to make sure that you work on these activities even if you are not going to be choosing descriptive writing in the future. Am I understood? I'm kind of rushing through it. I know that because I know at the end of the day, majority of you are going to stick to narrative writing. Regardless, I want you guys to have a good idea of descriptive. So whatever descriptive elements you can use in narrative, you do that. All right? देखो बच्चों, at the end of the day, हमने समझना ये है कि English में ना, particularly language में, no matter what board you are studying, not a lot changes. सिर्फ paper pattern differ करता है, right? You are an O-level student. इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि IGCSE का paper pattern और language बहुत different होगी. Paper pattern yes, rubric yes, but language तो वही है, tenses तो वही है, sentence structures भी वही हैं. You know what I'm saying? Grammar के rules भी वही हैं. So it's important for us to understand that language cannot be different across different boards. So the more we understand all genres properly, the better we can write and be different than the rest of the crowd. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically it. Now, sensory details. अच्छा, अब sensory details क्या होती हैं? Who can tell me in the chat box? What are sensory details? This is easy, guys. Very good. Okay. Good job. Let me open the chat box. So, Zuna has said our 5 senses. Mukaddas has said in our mind. Okay. So, the same 2 ladies again who always have something to input. What about the rest of you guys? Come on. Whatever we think in our imaginary world. Okay. All right. Hasnan, Vanya, Khadija, beta. 5 senses, yes, okay. Anyone else, please? Come on, guys, we got this. Come on. Hasnan, I'm sure you have something to tell us. Khadija, beta, aap bhi batao kuch. And it's literally in front of you guys, by the way. Chale, let's make it easy to understand. Yes, basically. So, senses are, as you guys can see, it's mainly the 5 senses. Hasnan, 6 senses, basically a 6 sense intuition kind of a thing, right? But हाँ, वो भी हम by the way use कर सकते हैं. There's nothing wrong with that. उसको भी हम बिल्कुल we can add that into a writing. But technically speaking, there are 5 senses that we need to focus on, right? ये scientific fact है. Taste, smell, touch, hearing and sight, right? ये हमें साइंस से पढ़ाया जाता है छोटे जब हम होते हैं बचपन में कि you look with your eyes, you hear with your ears, you see with your eyes, yes, you smell with your nose, you touch with your fingers and you taste with your tongue, right? So these are your 5 senses, and the 5 senses is what makes up sensory details in descriptive writing. In descriptive writing, sensory details are very important. Let me ask you guys, okay? Okay. What do you guys see? Can you identify the object in my hand? Football. Hassan, what is the... Yes, alright, football. Okay, you saw that one football, okay. You could say it's a jar, it's a box of candy, right? Now that is zooming out, identifying what this thing is. It's a transparent box of candy, right? It has a pink lid, and it has, yes, it has candy in it. It has gummies and candy and chocolate. So let's suppose if you guys have to identify these in terms of your sensory details. How will you guys do that? I do. I have a sweet tooth, but if it makes sense, it's mainly for candy. It's mainly for gummies actually. So yes, but tell me guys, come on. If you have to identify sight, sound, smell, touch and taste, can you guys give me something when you look at this? Can you give me something for smell? Oh yes, these are all the trail mix candies. Yes, they're colorful, very good. So sight is that they're colorful. You can identify different colors, right? You can name those colors as well. If need be, vibrant, very good, Zuna. Excellent. You could literally say a vibrant box of candy, a very colorful box of candy, right? Neon colors, light colors, pastels maybe. Yes, very good, excellent. What about touch? How do you think this would all feel like if we touch it? Very good. Very good, very good. Soft, squishy, sticky. You guys make me proud. Good job. Vanya, Khadija, aap log bhi batao kuch beta. We can also see it's hard. Some candy can be hard as well. The chocolate one maybe, usko hum touch karenge to it probably is a little hard, right? Others could be sticky, yes. We could also say some of them have sugar granules on them, right? So they might be a little textured in nature, right? Okay. How do you think this would be to the taste? Yes, very good, Mukaddas. How do you think we'll describe the taste? Yes, sweet. What else? Awesome. Yes. Okay, sweet again. What else, guys? It's sour. Good job. There's another word for sour. Tart. T-A-R-T. Some of them could be bitter, yes, we could say perhaps, if it's that kind of candy. Some of it can be that medicine flavored ones. Yeah? बचपन में हमारे होती थी कुछ इस तरह की jellies and gummies. Tangy, very good, Zuna, excellent. Khadija, are you there, beta? Has she left? I don't think she's in class. Anyway, so we understand what's going on here. It could be sweet, it could be tangy, it could be sour, it could be tangy, khatti si, basically. It could be tart. Tart is again, it's another term for sour, right? It could be very sticky, yes. It could be very chewy. Some candy is very chewy, right? बहुत ज़्यादा उसको chew करना पड़ता है. Isn't that the case, guys? So, obviously, in this case, when it comes to this box of candy, we don't have sound, or maybe we do. What kind of sound? So you can talk about that. It feels like it's all coming together, it's juggling. I was juggling candy, you could say it was making a beatbox kind of a sound. Depends on the context in which you are writing. Yes? Very good, yes. Probably we don't have anything in terms of, but yes, we do smell. Acha, let me show you guys something. This is a watermelon flavored. Giggling nahi. Okay, this is watermelon flavor. If I smell it, it's giving off a watermelon scent. Do you guys know what I'm saying? It has a specific smell to it as well. So you see, depending on context, we will write down according to our sensory details. Yes, very good. Absolutely. If it's a certain flavored one, right? If it's apple candy, mango candy, उसमें बहुत हमारे बचपन में एक आती थी mango वाली candies. I remember अभी भी आती हैं. एक होती थी अमरूद की भी, right? The guava one. So they would distinctly smell a guava. But let me tell you guys, I actually had those guava jellies. Yes, yes. अब वो भी बेटा 5 रुपए की हो गई है. So you see, महंगाई everywhere. Yes, Fanta, very good. It would smell of orange. Cola as well, right? So we remember these things. This is exactly what you need to dump into your writing. और यही हम करते नहीं हैं. This is what gives it that descriptive kick. Do you guys understand? What do you think? Sounds easy now? हमेशा एक बात याद रखनी है, without sensory details, descriptive writing cannot be descriptive writing. Or sensory details are important to an extent when it comes to good vocabulary. नहीं देखो, good vocabulary to the sense that it's not fancy, it's just different synonyms, appropriate vocabulary, right? It's more appropriate than fancy. So I'll be sharing a few lists with you, inshallah, either by tonight or by tomorrow. You guys can keep printouts with you. What do you mean, Hasnan Bita? How to express what? In terms of writing? Is that what you mean? हाँ, तो वो देखो, that depends on the context of what you're writing. So okay, let's take a look. There's an example. The market smelled nice and there was lots of noise. Now this is how you guys write. This is exactly how I have seen students writing. इसको कहते हैं basic vocabulary. Smells nice, lots of noise. This is not appropriate. कौन सी तरह की noise थी? You know, you can expand upon it. इसमें we will understand one more thing. What we call expanded. You can write this down if you want to. Expanded noun phrases. Again, this can be used in a narrative as well. Who can tell me, or someone, if anyone has an idea of expanded noun phrases? किसी को पता है क्या होते हैं? Do we know what expanded noun phrases are? No. अच्छा. Basically, एक noun होता है, उसको हमने expand करना है, चौड़ा करना है. What do we do? We add 2 adjectives to it. Instead of 1, we add 2. So for example, if my noun is a car, let's suppose my noun is a car. I can say red shiny car. Do you guys see that? I added 2 adjectives to 1 noun. This is what I call an expanded noun phrase. Do you guys understand now? Yeah? Sweet tangy gummies. Sweet bhi hai, tangy bhi hai, and they're gummies. Gummies is a noun. These are what we call expanded noun phrases. Pretty simple, but you add them in your writing and you literally see the magic happen. Your examiner is going to be like, wow, this child knows this particular technique. It's a technique to make your writing better. Make sense? So expanded noun phrases याद रखने हैं, sensory details याद रखनी है, और मज़ीद हम आगे करते हैं अभी. अच्छा खैर, let's see. So instead of just saying the market smells nice, expand upon the nice. कैसे nice थी? क्या perfume डाला हुआ था पूरी market में? You know what I'm saying? No, you could say maybe it smelled of sizzling fried street food, right? You know what I'm saying? या देखो जैसे कितने different marketplaces होते हैं ना. I remember when I go to Karachi, whenever I go to the street foods in Karachi, there are specific street foods in Karachi that are amazing. One of them is called Buns Road, and it's an amazing street food. Lahore has nothing like that, by the way. Sorry guys, but yes, at the end of the day, my loyalties lie with Karachi and its food. Anyway, अब वहाँ पे जाके ना, like you smell such heavenly, heavenly scents coming together. Fragrances and scents of different spices and food at the same time. I mean, it's a concoction, I would say. At the same time, let's suppose if I go to a fish market, will the smell be heavenly there? अब ऐसा होता है. I don't know how many of you have been to Karachi, but if you guys go toward the side of Clifton, where the beach है, where like when you go toward the road where that leads to the sea, you start smelling fish. You start smelling salty water. You know what I'm saying? And that absolutely, it's a pungent odor, right? It's an odor. It's a pungent one. It's bad. It's horrible. It's like really. It kind of makes you gag, right? You know what I'm saying, guys? Is everyone following? किसी को कुछ ना समझ आ रहा हो तो प्लीज बता दें. All right. खदीजा, यस वो तो है ही हमारे हसनैन यहाँ पे बेटा, वो कराची हो लाहौर हो जो भी हो, वो मसला तो ओवरऑल है ना. खदीजा बेटा आपको कुछ नहीं समझ आ रहा तो प्लीज आस्क मी, ओके? आई वांट यू टू प्लीज आल्सो टेक पार्ट. कैन यू डू दैट? ट्राई टू, ओके? चलो. सो अब what is this sentence about? The smell of frying onions. Who likes the smell of frying onions or frying garlic? Garlic in the kitchen. हम पूछते हैं अम्मी से, यही अम्मी क्या बन रहा है? बेशक अम्मी दाल बना रही हो, बेशक कोई सब्जी बन रही हो, but the moment the onions are thrown with the garlic, isn't it heavenly? है ना? Similarly, how many of you might like the smell of petrol or the first drops of rain when it falls on the ground, right? So such smells need to be described like that. You can't just say the petrol station smelled nice. What does that mean? Or how do you mean the marketplace smelled nice? You could say maybe because of the sizzling onions. That the sizzling onion, the smell was coming from the stall where the old man was making halim. The sizzling onions were going to be sprinkled all over to give the halim that kick it so desperately needs. You know what I'm saying? This is what we call the art of description. It's not narrative. You're not telling a story, but you are telling a story through description of a certain place, of a certain person. You fixate upon one thing, not different things, not different events. I hope I make sense, guys. Understood? Chalo, let's see. So the smell of frying onions drifted between the stalls, and under the shouting, a radio played something thin and tinny. So basically, simply meaning, we expanded upon the idea of smells nice, and there was lots of noise. Make sense? Do we understand? Are we good to go, guys? I'm not sure if you guys can hear me at times. Alright. Now we have the activity 4, which again we are not going to be doing at this point. For isn't it unnecessary? No. Has that description hai ye? How well can you reel in a person through your descriptive prowess? अगर मैं सिर्फ ये कह दूं कि यार हाँ दुबई बहुत प्यारा है, as opposed to Dubai has the world's best skyscrapers, the most amazing gigantic malls with a literal aquarium that's literally touching the roof and literally has sharks inside of it. It has an amazing place called Global Village and a garden that glows. Which one sounds better? The fact that I said that Dubai is a nice place to visit, or when I try to explain it a bit? And which one will make my reader want to visit Dubai? Like, I'll tell you guys one thing. Obviously, description is to reel someone in. When I went to Sri Lanka last year, me and my friend, we did a lot of, my friend and I basically, we did a lot of research. And, I mean, Sri Lanka is unlike Pakistan as well. It doesn't have any amusement parks or anything of that sort as such. What it has is history, culture. It has a lot of okay, so yes, that was just basic details of them. This was just to tell you what a simple sentence would sound like, as opposed to one that has more description in it and that would try to actually attract you towards that certain something. Because I want to make you visit Dubai. So me just telling you okay, it's a good place is not going to cut it. You're going to be like, okay, Pakistan is a good place as well. What does Dubai has to offer that Pakistan doesn't? So I go on to tell you about desert safari. right? I'll tell you कि desert safari जैसी कोई चीज नहीं है पाकिस्तान में. I'll tell you the kind of malls Dubai has to offer. You will not find them anywhere in the world. I'll tell you कि it's very clean and safe. You can be literally out till 4 a.m. in the morning, and you would be good. No one would bat an eyelash on that. I'll tell you that it has the most amazing options when it comes to food in the entire world. I'll tell you that it has so many different amusement parks and different recreational activities that you would be lost in the very idea of what to do and what not to do. It has the world's best water park. You know? Exactly. Yes, Muqaddas. So, Hasnain, do you follow? देखो, अगर तुम नहीं जा रहा ना, no matter what I say, you won't go. Right? No. Pakistan is. Hasnain, I think you told me that you have been to the north, all of it. You don't find Pakistan to be good? It's amazing, beta. I feel like I've been to Sri Lanka. I know I haven't been to a lot of places, but Pakistan's beauty is unmatched. It is it's not developed. वो तो है. Hadse and all that, that's a part of it all. Yes, but it is a beautiful place, isn't it? Yes? And people come to Pakistan, they enjoy it. I think if you guys go with friends, eventually in the future, inshallah, you will definitely see the beauty that I have seen. With friends, it's a different experience. With family, it's a different one. Anyway, so now activity 4 will be done as homework. Are we understood? Koi questions yahan tak? Any one of you? All right. Next up, improve the vague observation. Now, this is where, Hasnain, I ask you, beta. These are vague observations. Vague means unclear, not very nice, not very descriptive enough. So, rewrite each sentence so that it uses one precise sense rather than a general statement. So, you can use any sense that you want to. The old house felt scary. Go on. Each one of you write me a sentence. Upgrade this in the chat box. ये वाला A part. All of you. Using any sense. Yes. कोई भी एक sense को use करके upgrade this sentence. In the chat box. Sure. Go on. Three grammar rules, all three very important. You mess them up, you mess up your writing. I heard from people that the old house was so scary. I could believe until at 3 a.m. at night I heard the voice of a lady shouting on the terrace and the car footsteps. Okay. I couldn't believe until at 3 a.m. in the night. अच्छा यहाँ पे grammatical mistakes तो हैं मुकद्दस, उसको तो हम बाद में देखते हैं. But देखो, the first line again has the word scary, right? We need to actually change that and just make it a sentence of one line. That's it. What are we doing, my internet? Vanya, the sentence that you see, beta, the old house felt scary. I want you to just upgrade this sentence using one sensory detail. I thought proper sensory description add karni hai, wo karni hai, but just one, basically. Alright? And just upgrade the sentence in one line. The floorboards creaked. Yes, very good, Khadija. Good job. Very good. Excellent. This is how. That's it. This is what? Hearing, right? Mainly this is the sense of hearing. Good job, Khadija. Well done. I'm waiting for the others to be done as well, please. The moist scent of old wood, dusty corners and spider webs in the abandoned house sent chills down my spine. Very good. The cry of a baby was heard from the abandoned. Very good. Excellent, Muqaddas. ये cry होगा और abandoned की spellings गलत हैं. ABANDONED. All right? The old house felt scary because से पहले comma नहीं आएगा. Okay, Muqaddas. Hasna no comma before because of darkness roaming around it and the stench of rotting woods filled my nostrils. The old house felt scary because of darkness roaming around it. You could also say because of the darkness engulfing it. Or because of the way the darkness had blanketed the house. Right? So, इसमें expression का मसला है. We need to use a better expression. And the stench of rooting woods. Rooting woods. What do you mean rooting woods? What does that mean, Hassan? Rooting woods. Can you tell me? Rotting, yes. Is that rotting, Hassan? And the stench of rotting woods filled my nostrils. Rotting woods. How can woods rot though? It's okay. You could say, and the stench of a rotten animal filled my nostrils. Wait. Just give me a minute, guys. Someone keeps persistently calling me. Hold on. Okay. All right. Moving on. So we understand now how we can make it better. It means a sense of smell, decaying wood. Acha, haan, wo rotting wale sense mein basically, right? Okay, good enough. Hold on, guys. Okay, let's move on. Now, using the precise nouns, verbs, adjectives, this is what we call emotive language. We call this emotive language. Now, emotive language is when we obviously make use of parts of speech. Now, parts of speech mainly that are used are nouns, verbs, adjectives, even adverbs, pronouns as well, prepositions as well. But obviously, those are more filler in nature as opposed to nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. All right? Okay, let's move on. So, for example, a weak example would be a big bird went quickly across the grey sky. Acha, isme se can you guys identify the parts of speech anywhere? Yes? Can you guys identify the parts of speech? What is a big bird? Can anyone tell me? No. As a part of speech. No, subject is part of a sentence. I'm talking about a part of speech. Yes, it's a noun. A big, but what is the noun? Big and bird both are nouns? Are big and bird both are nouns? Bird only. So what is big? Big is the adjective. All right. That's good enough. All right. What is quickly and went? Went quickly. What's that? Can we tell that? Do we know what that is? Went is a verb. And what's quickly? Quickly is not an adjective. No. What's quickly, guys? It's an adverb. Generally, adverbs end in ly. All right? It's an adverb, okay? All right, what is gray sky? What is gray sky? Gray is an adjective, sky is a noun. Isn't that right? Sky is a noun, gray is an adjective. Very good. Guys, I think, yes, but I'm reading the chat. Okay. Guys, I think can you guys just give me a few minutes, please? I have to go to the door actually, at the gate actually. Somewhere, someone's out there and I'm alone at home. And they're not leaving me be. Just give me 2 minutes, okay? I'll be right there. I'll be right back. In the meantime, maybe you guys can try doing activity 6 and 7 on your own. Yeah? All right, guys, can you hear me and see me? Sorry about that. All right. I am so sorry, guys. Anyway, yes. So, do we understand how we mainly and majorly use nouns and verbs or adjectives or adverbs when it comes to our writings? So, for example, a big bird went quickly across the gray sky. That is basically basic, right? We can identify what the bird is, which kind of a bird, the species, right? We can also talk about maybe cry in terms of its color scheme, color tones, right? So, for example, a heron labored across the grey sky. The exact noun and a working verb replace two vague words and one unnecessary adverb. Do you guys see that? Are we following? Okay. So, in this case, the activity number 6 and activity 7 are individually about sharpening the noun and sharpening or strengthening the verb. Make it more better. Again, I know ये वही वाली. अच्छा, by the way, this is your vocabulary. That Muqaddas keeps talking about कि मुझे vocabulary नहीं आती. How can I make it better? Right? This is what it is. All right. I will be sharing with you guys lists of nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, list of your sensory details, so on and so forth. All right, expanded noun phrases as well. So I'll be sharing all these that you can also use in your narrative writings as well. Ma'am sent you activity 6 on WhatsApp. Okay, beta. All right, Muqaddas. G. Let's move on to connotation and rewriting. So choose with care. These words share a meaning but not a feeling. Note what each suggests. Thin, slender, scrawny, slim. अब देखो, these are words that more or less have the same denotation. Do we remember the difference between connotation versus denotation? We have been doing it since the beginning, guys. Do we remember that? We do. So, more or less so, these words have the same dictionary meaning. Denotation means dictionary meaning, Muqaddas. Khadija beta, aapki convenience ke liye bhi I will write it down. These two words are important to understand. So we have connotation versus denotation. Denotation means the dictionary meaning of a certain word, whereas connotation means contextual meaning. That's right. कि context में, इस particular context में इसका क्या मतलब है? Does that make sense? Do we understand? यहाँ तक are we clear? Okay. Then, bachcho, we have to rewrite this sentence twice. Rewrite the sentence twice. Once to make the figure seem gentle and once to make him seem threatening. Change only the nouns and verbs and not the adjectives. Alright? So, a man came down the street towards the house. So, you have to change the sentence into two different contexts. First, you have to make the figure seem gentle and once to make him seem threatening. So you will change the nouns and the verbs, not the adjectives. Do we think we'll be able to do this as well? Can we? Easy enough? Alright. Let's move on to building an image now. Seeing and selecting. Asha. This is about similes, metaphor, personification. Overall, we call this the use of figurative language. We call this figurative. What do we call it, guys? Figurative language. Does this make sense? Have you heard about this before? And if you have, how many of you? हमारे पास जो most basic figurative language devices होते हैं, these are simile, metaphor, personification. Alright? Simile, metaphor, personification. But इसके अलावा भी we have a few, so I'll write them down here first. We have, okay, well, how do we pronounce this word? Can anyone tell me? By obviously unmuting themselves. Can anyone tell me?
Could be hyperbole.
Okay, the pronunciation. No, that's not the pronunciation. Though, good job, Muqaddas. And then hyperbole is. Gigi, Zuna, batao. You unmuted yourself.
Miss, I think it's hyperbole.
Yes. The most common misconception is that this is what we call hyperbole. ऐसा नहीं होता. This is not a hyperbole. This is what we call a hyperbole. Hyperbole, basically. Make sense? So, hyperbole, उसके अलावा we have, hold on, what happened to the screen? Huh. Anyway, so we have hyperbole and then we have alliteration. How many of you can tell me what alliteration means? Anyone has any idea what alliteration is? No? Thumbs up, thumbs down? No. Okay. If I write down like this, alliteration is basically the repetition of the same consonant sound at the start of each word, side by side. B, B, B. Big brown baker. Let's suppose I write down salty sea shells. S, S, S. Alliteration is the repetition of the same consonant sound side by side in more than two